From season 4, episode 8 was just rude. Amazing, exciting, but rude. Haven't we suffered enough? Today we're breaking down the episode 8 bombs, Fatima's corpse vitals, Kristi versus Marielle, the bottle tree plan, Henry getting catfished by a hospital, and that deeply upsetting RV scene with the man in yellow basically saying, "Hey, bestie, are you going to ruin the universe?" Spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched From season 4, episode 8 yet, go watch that first. Otherwise, let's hop in. Welcome back to the Antler Queens. I'm Kelly, Salad Bowl Strategy Keen.
I'm Jade, Demon Stretch Mark Shamanic.
And I'm Dawn, Mop Miranda Glenn.
And today we are talking about From season 4, episode 8. I seriously thought Kenny was actually dead. I was like, shit, did Henry already freak out? Oh,
no, I didn't, because the sound had come from behind him and then he was in front of him, so I knew it was mystical shenanigans going on.
So they've done this twice in a row now. First with Donna and then with Kenny. I feel like they just want to terrorize us.
Is it the rule of 3? Are we going to get the rule of 3? 2 fake outs and a reel? I don't know either.
I really hope not. I'm not liking a few people's chances of making it.
I think Sarah and Kristi are both strong contenders, unfortunately.
I think things are looking too great for Fatima.
No, things are not looking good for Fatima.
I don't think Fatima can die. Let's jump into it, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Dawn, you want to start us off with the recap?
We open in Colony House. Acosta, Donna and Boyd are checking Raggedy Roger is really dead. Donna is relieved no one was killed in this latest Kool-Aid Man-style disaster, thanks to Elgin. Boyd is stunned at the identity of the hero of the hour, but Donna is more concerned that some residents are not coping well with the realization that the talisman won't protect them from everything. Sophia in Yellow joins them, bummed, to learn Boyd's totem creature plan didn't work. Her gloat is interrupted when Ellis wants Boyd and Donna upstairs. Boyd tells Acosta to burn what was formerly Roger's body, just in case, before following Ellis. Upstairs, Boyd learns about Fatima saving Kenny from Smiley. Fatima assures him she was absolutely the reason Kenny is still alive, and she's got the scars to show for it, as Ellis urges his wife to show Boyd her stomach. She explains that when she connected with Smiley, she felt something cold inside her, and reveals black veins spread across her stomach. Tabitha finds Ethan drawing pictures of all his town friends, including Tian Chen, so the drawings will be remembered if everyone dies and he's left alone, like Victor said. Tabitha gently tries to explain that what happened to Victor might not happen to him, but Ethan is adamant he needs to be prepared. Ellis and Fatima leave Colony House for the clinic, with Boyd saying he'll meet them there. First he goes to the bar to see Jade and Kenny's progress with a map of the tunnels. Jade is frustrated that Boyd thinks of the 3D model as a science fair project, but Jade explains it incorporates all the information they have and asks if Boyd wants his dangerous and simple plan or complicated and safer plan. But Boyd cuts Jade off in his prime. He says there are no plans because there is only one way in and out of that key chamber. In the army, that's called the shooting gallery, because all the creatures have to do is block the only exit, and they're all dead. He needs Jade to fix this fundamental issue. Jade is staggered and sarcastically suggests the Wizard of Oz hot air balloon solution, but Boyd's response is just, great, and he's out. Kenny follows Boyd and pleads Jade's case, but Boyd holds firm. They need a second exit. He suggests they send a scouting crew to look for a missed crack or crevice. Kenny wants to know what they'll do if there isn't one. But just as Boyd is saying he doesn't know, suddenly a couple of gunshots ring out. It's clear only Boyd hears them, and he turns around looking for a source, but there isn't one. Kenny asks what's wrong, but Boyd says he has to go to the clinic to see Ellis and Fatima, and he's off again. At the diner, Henry comes in, and after finding out from Bacta what's going on with the people searching the storage, he humbly tells her he's been drinking too much, and he needs something to occupy him. Bacta tells him he can help her with lunch, as apparently he's good in the kitchen. As always, the DJ at Radio Free Fromville is serving up hot trauma in the form of musical torture as Joni Mitchell's Blue starts playing on the jukebox, and Henry flashes back to it, playing in the car with Tabitha. Bacta assures him he'll get used to the obtrusive machines, but he is lost in the memory. Back at the Colony House porch, Sophia and Patty are amongst others watching Roger's body be burned, and Patty lets Sophia know things never used to be this bad, and she sure hopes Boyd is right about the bones. Sophia agrees as Tabitha approaches with Ethan. Sophia awkwardly waves at Ethan, who waves back. Victor's in his room drawing the man in yellow when Tabitha and Ethan come to the door. Tabitha instructs Victor to tell Ethan it's not true, he won't be left alone. Victor, of course, won't do that, but Ethan takes matters into his own hands and asks Victor to teach him his ways, informing Tabitha she can't say for sure it won't happen to him. He points out Miranda thought the same as her, and look what happened. Victor agrees it's a good idea, and Tabitha reluctantly agrees. At the clinic, Marielle is doing an ultrasound on Fatima. When they find nothing, Ellis snaps that they couldn't see a baby either. Kristi says that basically all they can say is Fatima isn't in immediate physical danger, but beyond that, given where they are, who the hell knows what's causing this? Fatima brings up the elephant in the room, pointing out that Kristi's autopsy on Smiley showed they used to be human. Is she turning into one of them? Ellis doesn't want to hear that, when Marielle broaches that maybe it's not a bad thing. Kristi is all, excuse me? Marielle points out Fatima saved Kenny's life, and this weird side effect might go away, so shouldn't we focus on the positive? Steam comes out of Ellis's ears at the idea any of his wife's suffering is a good thing, and Kristi has to time out everyone, refocusing on Fatima going back to pack some things because she should stay in the clinic where they can keep an eye on her. Back at the bar, Kenny's trying to help Jade come up with a solution, but only managing to irritate the tetchy genius, who says they aren't going to go spelunking and find a new exit, and lovingly tells Kenny to get out. But before he goes, Jade tries to get Kenny to talk to Boyd about just accepting they may have to sacrifice some people for this. Kenny points out that's easy for Jade to say, since he's not the one on the front line, and leaves. Jade responds by Hulk smashing his tunnel model out of frustration. Outside the clinic, Boyd is lurking, waiting for Kristi. He's been plucking up the courage to tell her, actually, he is having hallucinations, and more of them. He's aware they are all connected to Abby, and he becomes distressed. Kristi tries to calm him, but he is frustrated this is happening when they're so close to being able to leave, and asks if she can give him a medicinal band-aid just to keep him going. Kristi sadly says there's nothing she can do, the implication being it's down to Boyd and Boyd alone. Sophia goes into the empty post office and searches the place until she finds the yellow suit at the bottom of Boyd's closet. She heads back to Sarah's, who is pissed she hadn't come home last night. Sophia plays Scared Bunny and apologizes for worrying Sarah, when Sarah asks, "What's in the backpack?" Sophia spins a yarn about looking for clothes but realizing they're all dead people's clothes, because wearing dead people's skins is fine and dandy. Sarah offers to take her to get better clothes later and leaves to go help at the diner. Victor has taken Tabitha and Ethan to his truck, where he tells them about the boy in white's first appearance after everyone died. The boy told Victor he needed 3 things to survive. Firstly, food. So he took him to this truck, which was filled with canned peaches, and he mostly ate that along with bugs and plants, opening the cans with a sharp-hooked rock he found, which gifts to Ethan to keep safe. The second secret to survival is coping with loneliness, and Victor shares the most heartbreaking story of pretending the walls and floor of the truck are people and talking to them. Thankfully, however, he has a better solution for Ethan, and while Tabitha sits with her head in her hands in despair, Victor fetches a large stuffed teddy and an approximation of a person made from a mop. This was the version of his mother and sister that he made, much in the style of Buster Bluth. He dresses his dolls in their clothes and talks to them. He's describing altering them to suit Ethan's family when Tabitha's had enough and stops the whole thing. She declares Ethan will never need this as he'll never be alone. She swears she'll get him home. Victor simply points out that's what Miranda thought too.
Henry is happily chopping vegetables at the diner, with Bacta praising his work when she accidentally drops some silverware. The clash sends Henry's brain flying back to his alternative reality, where a teenage boy has dropped a lunch tray and shouts, "Grandpa's awake." Normie Victor returns and explains to Henry he's in a care facility where he's been since he dropped acid and had a bad reaction to it decades ago. Henry asks about the boy, who Victor says is his son, Sebastian. He adds Eloise is a teacher, and she's on a plane to come see him. Henry becomes emotional and starts stressing, and boom, he's back in the diner. When Bacta spots him staring into space, she asks if he's okay, but Henry just leaves her confused as he thanks her for the opportunity to help, and he departs. Fatima finds Ellis packing his own bag in their room. He's insisting he's staying with her. Fatima knows he's stressing, and he's angry at Marielle, saying that this could be good. Fatima defends her. Maybe it is, if she can control this thing. She can use it to help them, surely. Ellis is not convinced and starts to say, I know how you feel. Fatima puts him in his place with an on-point feminist rant about the fact that he can't possibly know what it's like to have your body taken over like that. Ellis is contrite, but wants Fatima to be aware of how badly this can hurt her. Fatima, the most altruistic human on earth, says she doesn't care, but Ellis does. Without her, there is no such thing as home, he shouts. The pair hug, and Fatima softly says that all may be pointless because whatever is happening may already be underway, and there's nothing they can do about it. All that she can do is take anything good from it she can. Marielle is making up the bed at the clinic when Kristi pulls her up about talking to Fatima the way she did. Marielle is frustrated that she's the only one who can see something good in what happened. Kristi thinks it wasn't the time or place to talk to Fatima about it, and she worries about this place making people think things are good when they aren't. Marielle makes a plea that she just wants them to go home and live the life they are meant to be living, and Kristi agrees, but she pulls rank on Marielle and declares Fatima is her patient, and Marielle has to run everything past her before speaking to Fatima directly, leaving Marielle fuming that she's a glorified housekeeper. While Jade is picking up his trashed model, he mocks Boyd before suddenly having a revelation as he holds a wooden salad bowl. He flashes back to standing in the chamber, looking up at the symbol in the roof. At the post office, Kenny finds Boyd disturbed that someone has been in there and taken the yellow suit. Kenny plays it down that maybe it was Henry or Victor, but Boyd's anger is put aside when an animated Jade rushes in. He solves the problem with the cavern. The answer is the bottle tree, and tells them to come with him. Sophia goes literally sniffing around the Matthews house, where she collects up Ethan's drawings. Back at the truck, Ethan is refusing to leave because Victor isn't finished teaching him yet. Tabitha tries to reassure him that she and Jade have memories Miranda didn't. She also reassures Victor of how much his mother loved him and how hard she tried, but she didn't have the answer she needed, and Tabitha does. She said that Miranda is the reason she brought Henry back, and she's realized that the reason she came back is to bring Victor home. Tabitha takes the hand of her son in this life and her son in a past life. It tells them both that they don't need to draw any more pictures because neither of you are ever going to be alone again. We're all verklempt, and Victor manages a nod. In the woods, Jade is explaining excitedly to Boyd and Kenny that instead of focusing on the entrances and exits that are there, he needed to focus on the exits that used to be there. Victor told him that roots grew over the hole in the top of the chamber, forming the symbol, and those roots are the roots of the bottle tree. By the time they've reached the spot and Jade lays out his plan for a second exit, he plans to pull the bottle tree out by its roots, using the truck, all the chains they have, and surrounding trees for leverage. They put a team into the caverns, block the exit from any other creatures coming in, dig up the bones, pull the tree up like a stopper in a bottle, and haul the people out of the hole. Voila. Kenny thinks it can work, but an unimpressed Boyd focuses only on the negatives. What if the tree doesn't come out? What if the chains break? Boyd wants a plan B. Jade is incredulous that he's offered an impossible solution on a platter, and Boyd is reacting like it's shit on a stick. As he declares, landscaping is not a plan, Jade responds with a resounding fuck you, and Boyd leaves him to it. As Boyd walks back through the woods, he hears a shout from Kenny from behind, but turns just in time to see Kenny in front of them, shot in the chest. He rushes to hold his friend, begging him to live, when he looks up and sees the bodies of his other friends scattered among the trees. Tabitha, Jade, Donna, and Ellis. lifeless, with Abby kneeling by their son's side. When she turns to Boyd, blood pours from her mouth, and all of it vanishes, leaving a distraught Boyd to scream to the sky, "What the fuck do you want from me?" Henry goes to Miranda's memorial stone to speak to her. He struggles with the very idea of it, but says that the acid had fried his brain and he was wrong all this time. It makes more sense than what he's living now, for sure. He describes how lovely and peaceful the other reality is, becoming emotional as he talks about Eloise being alive. Tearing at his hair, distressed, he wonders if he came all this way just so he could go home. He's begging Miranda for help when the song Blue becomes playing, and he's back in the other world again with grandson Sebastian playing the song on his phone. He quotes the lyrics, "Lots of laughter, back to Victor," when the doctor interrupts. She wants Henry to know that if he wants to stay there, he has to break free of the delusional state he's been in for so long. And just telling himself it's not real isn't enough. He has to forcibly detach from the anchor that's keeping him there. When he asks how, she says, "You have to eliminate it." Yep, that's not all suspicious. The music ends, and he's back in Fromville, wailing on a hill. Kristi is taking Fatima's pulse as she sits on a bed in the clinic. Kristi looks concerned while Fatima is thoughtful. Kristi asks her if she's had dizziness, breathlessness, and Fatima says no to all the symptoms. Even the cold feeling is gone. She turns to Marielle and asks her if she thinks it's really possible that she could control this thing. Marielle is reluctant to answer, but when Fatima presses her, she says there are things that they could try. Kristi immediately calls Marielle aside, and she's quickly on the defensive, saying, "Fatima wants to try this, but that's not what Kristi's concerned about. Fatima's blood pressure is 53/33, and her pulse is 19 beats per minute. Yowza." Both women are horrified that Fatima should not even be alive right now. Ethan asks Tabitha if he and Victor can go see Donna. Tabitha sends the pair on their way and goes home to find the phone ringing. She answers to hear Thomas, who tells her to come to the RV, or he'll hurt Julie and Ethan. Returning to the post office, Boyd is met by Khatri, who says, "No version of Jade's plan is going to be good enough for you, right?" Boyd has had enough of vague speak and spins around to avoid talking to the ghost. To his frustration, Khatri reappears on his other side. Boyd demands Khatri talk to him straight. Khatri says, "You need to get over losing Abby. There was nothing you could do differently that would have saved her. And no matter how great Jade's plan is, you will probably lose people." Boyd tries to avoid the conversation, but the ex-priest presses on. He says, "This isn't peacetime anymore. It's time to make a stand, and it's not about saving everybody, but saving as many as you can. Suck it up and make a choice and live with it." Boyd rages at this. Khatri vanishes, and Boyd rages some more. Tabitha arrives at the RV to find Ethan's drawings taped on the roof of it. The man in yellow from behind thanks her for coming. He's solicitous and surprised that she doesn't remember their connection yet. He waxes lyrical about Jim and assures a terrified Tabitha he wouldn't kill her like he did her husband. Not yet, anyway. They've been through too much together, and she's as close to a friend as he has. He grabs her face and tells her she and Jade are going to do something they've never done before. Digging up the children's bones is a brand new development, and it might be the key to bringing her own children home. Or it might be the key to unimaginable suffering all around. Who can say? He kisses her hand, tells her he's missed her, and happily wanders off while Tabitha reels in horror. Fucked up, man.
Crazy episode.
Really crazy. It's funny because when the season started, sorry, I'm just rearranging us here. When the season started, I thought it was like off to a slow start, and it's just been nonstop madness.
The back half has been like, fright after fright and horrible developments.
I am fascinated by what the man in yellow said to Tabitha.
Me too.
Do you guys
that scene scared the shit out of me. I don't think he would kill her.
No.
Right, but menacing.
Yeah. So many people are speculating that he's actually Ethan from the future.
What? No.
Yeah.
If I have to hear one more person is the man in yellow, I think the implication is that maybe someone, the man in yellow, appeared as someone either to Tabitha, but more likely to Miranda, and she doesn't know it was the man in yellow. That's my assumption. Because Victor doesn't know, but then he was a kid, so you know what I mean? He might not paid enough attention to who the man in yellow became.
Well, I will tell you, I think that this episode even solidified even more my theory about them never leaving. And we can get into that a little later, but let's jump into our MVPs. Who's getting your pancakes this week?
I wrote and I scored out, and I wrote and I scored out, because there's a lot of good stuff going on. But in the end, I went for Jade. He took a plan, and then it blew up in his face, and Boyd went, nope, come on, come up with another plan. And pretty quickly, he came up with another plan. So, what a hero. Even though he was stressed and, I'll get lost, he still managed to do it. So well done, Jade, on coming through.
I am actually giving him my pancakes as well. He basically turned a temper tantrum and a salad bowl into a plan that makes sense. I've never seen anybody get so inspired by a salad bowl before.
Maybe the pioneer woman.
I loved him mocking Boyd. It was so funny.
Yes, that was very funny.
I used to be a soldier. I also went with Jade. I wasn't expecting a shutout. I had a really hard time picking both because
me too.
Everyone's doing stuff. Everything's interesting. I struggled to pick between Jade and Fatima, but I ultimately went with Jade because Boyd just kept telling him to fuck off so many times, and he kept coming back with new stuff. That's determination. But I also think Fatima deserves to be acknowledged because what's happening to her is fucking terrifying, and she is willing to let what happens to her if she can help save other people, and that's amazing. Not maybe the best sense of self-preservation out there, but wonderful person nonetheless.
Yes.
All right, let's hop into our top fives. Dawn, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is this opening scene where they're basically standing with sticks and poking Roger's body. I just find that so funny. What? Acosta was up close, but everybody else, and then Patty's just sitting in a chair. I don't like this. I just find that really funny, and as we're getting towards more and more revelations and things, I really appreciate the moments of comedy like that.
My number 5 is a tie between, I had to make it a tie because one of them is just it's just nothing. It's just a little thing. And it's Jade mocking Boyd.
That was hysterical.
But the other one is, this should be, I put this in my bottom 5 originally, but I'm actually very excited about this because I think it plays into my theory. I think Fatima's dead.
Already dead.
She's alive because it's Fromville, but she's not like, she has a blood pressure. She has some vitals, so she's not fully dead, but she's somewhere in between. And I don't think at this point that she can survive outside Fromville. I think the town is keeping her alive.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, Ellis has said to her so many times about her being his home, and he doesn't have a home without her. And it's more fuel for my theory, I think. Sorry, I'm not trying to make this Kelly's theory show, but I just get really excited when I hear stuff that just plays into my theory, and I think that's really fascinating. I think what's going on with Fatima is hard to watch because she's such a kind character, but at the same time, it's so fascinating. Jazz, what about you? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Bacta's willingness to help Henry. I like that she's sliding into the sign-in role within the group. If you're a Star Trek fan, I love Bacta. I love that she's finally getting some freaking screen time after 6 episodes. In the first 4 at all outside of Jim's funeral. But I really enjoyed her. She's been there for 2 weeks, and now she's old hat telling Henry, "Oh, you'll get used to it." Yeah. It's so good. I love her getting a chance to shine. And I love her being so kind to Henry when he's being very weird. It would be totally within her rights to be like, you go rest somewhere. I don't want you around.
Stay away.
Oh, man.
I had that same scene as my number 4, Bacta and Henry. I really liked that Henry was able to openly admit. He wasn't just going, "Oh, I want something to do. I want to be helpful." He was openly saying, "Look, I'm drinking too much. I need some help here, and I need a distraction." So I really like that. I don't know. He's implied that obviously he's had a drink problem for some time, probably because his family went missing. But I don't know if he's gone to AA or whatever. But it felt like he was tapping into old strategies he had that he'd lost the grip of and gone, "No, you know what? There are strategies to help me stay sober." But I also just wanted to throw in as an aside, Ethan's drawing of Tian Chen. I just thought it was so cute. Of all the people he didn't want to forget, Tian Chen. I was like, oh, I'm
the
diner. I just love so many shows when a character dies, they forget them and don't reference them, but not here. Chen is still in Ethan's heart.
I love that. My number 4 was also Bacta and Henry. For the same reasons that you guys mentioned, I love that Henry he's taking charge of his situation and saying he needs to occupy his mind. And I love that because Bacta came in so hot, and it took a while before we stopped being annoyed by her, and she's turned into this sweetie pie. I think it's the braids.
That helps.
No, I love her braids. They look so good on her.
I want to know who did them, because it takes a minute.
Maybe Fatima, while she's recovering, she had some time.
Yeah. But it's totally got to be the braids. No, I'm kidding. No, I like her. She seems to genuinely care about everybody. And
I love Bacta.
Yeah, I do too. And I think I still think Giordano would make a great girlfriend for Boyd.
Yes, I support.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Boyd and Kristi finally having a freaking conversation. They didn't. I guess they're not going to go back to that fight that they had, which is fine. It seems like they're on better terms now. I wanted them to make up. I needed them to make up. It was important for me. And
for a second, I thought you said I wanted them to make out.
No, not at all. That would make me so unhappy. I needed them to make up. And they don't really feel like they necessarily did, but at least they're on better terms. They're speaking to each other more calmly. Their relationship's one of my favorite parts of the show, and them being at odds for so long has really bothered me, so I'm glad I finally resolved that a little bit.
Dawn, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a scene early on when Boyd is finding out about Fatima saving Kenny. I love that Fatima says, "I know I'm the reason he's alive." Not, "Oh, maybe that happened." No. She is owning it. No, I know I saved his life. She's such a feminist boss ass in this episode. We'll come on to that. Still got that to come in my top 5. But that scene especially, I was just like, she knows what happened. Nobody go, "Oh, it may have helped save him." No, she directly saved his life. Nobody takes that away from her. So go on, Fatima.
My number 3 is, I'm going to make this a tie again because there's just one little tiny thing that I had to notice that I literally laughed out loud over. And that was when Khatri was talking to Boyd outside the sheriff's station. And he told him to get lost, and then he walks in. Jesus fucking Christ, that's not what he said.
That's my next one too. I called it Peekaboo Khatri.
It was so funny. And that's tied with Tabitha telling Victor that she thinks she came back for him. to bring him home. That was really sweet. And at first I was annoyed. I'm like, oh God, no, why is she annoying me again? Because when I was annoyed when she told Ethan, you're not going to be alone because I'm going to make sure you get home. And I was like, oh my God. It was like a Jade and Acosta thing when they first got there. It seemed really arrogant. But then she expanded upon that, and I thought it was really sweet. Jazz, what's your number 3?
My number 3 was Peekaboo Khatri. I thought it was, I love that. It's so interesting that he's been dead the majority of the show, but he's still such an impactful character. He still shows up for Boyd's most important decisions and gives him this sounding board that he should have lost in season 1. I love it. I think it's a great way to keep Sean on the show. And he's always saying the thing that Boyd is thinking that he's afraid to say out loud. And I appreciate the way they shot that was so funny, with him just being like, nope, turning around and he's right there. It was hysterical. And there's so much is happening with the episode. It's so heavy. There's still so much levity in small moments, and I really like the way they break up the tension. They are great. It's crazy how comedy and horror go so hand in hand, and the biggest horror directors right now are all comedy people. Interesting.
Yeah, Mark Duplass is a great example of that. Is it
Duplass?
Yeah.
Zach Kreger? Is that his name? That did Weapons? He did Barbarian too. Yeah.
Oh, Dawn, what is your number 2?
My number 2, excuse me, my number 2 is Jade's second plan. I love that he thought creatively that this salad bowl inspired him. And the way that he realized that if there's light coming in there, it's coming from someplace, so that's an exit. Even though I don't quite understand how there's light coming in and you can't see light through the bottom of the tree, but we'll just ignore that part. And I love that he was so enthused about it. He was so happy to tell Boyd and take him actually to the tree and go, look, so I felt really bad.
Not a plan.
Boyd just popped his balloon and he was like, oh, I thought it was really good. Well done, Jade. I just think that I love that the fact all his arrogance is proved right. He is right to be arrogant. He is a genius that he says he is, which is really nice.
That was actually my number 2 as well. It just, I thought he really, his plan, I thought his plan was really thoughtful, and don't know that it's gonna work out, but I thought he was onto something. And I'm going to tie that with Boyd's landscaping comment.
Landscaping is not a plan. Yes, it is if you're landscaping.
Yeah, exactly.
He's given sass.
Landscaping, though, honestly.
The way Jade was like, what if I just build a hot air balloon and fly us out like the Wizard of Oz? And he's like, great. And this walks up.
Yes.
You're a fucks Boyd.
No. He's like, I don't care how you do it, as long as you do it. Fine. If you want to build a hot air balloon, let's do it.
See, that got me thinking, though. What would happen if he, obviously that's ridiculous, but what would happen if he did? What would happen if they suddenly had a hot air balloon? Would they actually be able to get out of there?
I doubt it.
It would just be like the road, I'm guessing. The sky would just transform into the same bit again and again.
Probably. All right, Jazz.
My number 2 was Tabitha telling Victor that she came back for him. That whole situation, I've been irritated with Tabitha for the last 2 episodes, which I don't love because I love Tabitha. But I understand the way she's reacting to this because, like I said last week, the Kavanaugh men are not great at explaining where they're coming from, especially when they are particularly worked up or upset. But what Victor's doing is important because he's right. And I'm glad she finally stops just focusing on being afraid of Ethan and realizes why Victor is so afraid and embraces him. And that moment of her just convincing them both that they are going to be taken care of was really beautiful. It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire show so far.
And that, in my opinion, played into my theory too, because I don't think Henry's gonna make it. I think Henry's gonna go, and I don't think Tabitha would leave Victor alone.
No, definitely not. I've accidentally got 6 instead of 5, so I've got 2 number ones.
That's
I just realized I've written. Oh, never mind. Anyway, so my 2 number ones are Tabitha. That moment when she takes both her hands was just so beautiful, and it's like that moment she's realizing, or not realizing, but accepting the role of Victor's mother in this life as well as the past. She's saying, I am seeing you the way I see my own son, the way she sees Ethan, and that he will be part of our family, and he's always part of our consideration of what she's doing. Will always involve Victor. But my other thing was Fatima's speech to Ellis. I loved that when he said, I know how you feel. No, you don't. No, you do not. It was so much of Fatima's storyline has had real world analogy. Not even an analogy, it's just a real world version of it. The abduction, the forced birthing, and that even now, afterwards, here is a man saying, I know how you feel, and saying, no, you don't. You do not know what it is to have your body violated in this way. Even if you take away all the supernatural aspects of it, you do not know what it is to have something in your body like that. And I love that they gave her that speech to say. Just Fatima is just incredible this season. She always is, but obviously she was in a really awful place in season 3, and in season 4, seeing her take control back of her life and take a stand, I'm all here for it.
Definitely. So, sorry, I decided to laugh because I had a brain fart for a second. My number 1 is, and I mentioned this, I talked about this last week too, possibly the week before, but Victor's maturity. He evolves a little bit every episode, and you can, and it really, I think it's interesting with the alternate reality Victor, when you compare the two. Obviously that Victor is a lot different, but there's less of a contrast than I think that there would be a couple of seasons ago.
Yes,
definitely.
He's like, Victor used to be putting his hands over his ears and having tantrums and running away, and that's just not who he is anymore. And he's thinking logically and trying to help Ethan prepare for this horrifying possibility. And I'm really enjoying it. I have a feeling like some people might feel the opposite and not like it, but I love it. I love that sharing Victor. He deserves it. It's a sign that he's healing a tiny bit, and I just think that's really awesome. And I will throw in there, along with it, Randall's comment about our lives being really weird.
I was going to say about Victor, it's really ironic that it's his father coming and being there that's made him grow up. Because most people think when you lose a parent, it makes you grow up faster and you have to take on responsibility. But here, it's when he's got his dad with him that he's now safe to grow up. He's now almost parenting Henry, and it's making him so much more mature, which I think is just a really interesting way to write it.
Definitely. I really enjoy it. And Scott McCord is really doing a hell of a job, because I feel like, I don't know if everyone can appreciate this, but I feel like that would be a really difficult progression to pull off, because it has to be subtle, it has to be gradual and subtle, and not like a complete shock. And I think he's done it beautifully. He's done a great job. Jazz, what about you?
My number 1 was the Man in Yellow Tabitha showdown scene.
Yeah.
I thought that was so fucking terrifying, and cool. I like seeing Douglas Hughes back as the Man in Yellow. I really enjoyed their use of two different people to play the same character. Like, Julia Doyle, obviously, we've gone on and on about how great she is. But it was great to see him back. He's so menacing. He's such a terrifying villain. And then his combination of both hatred and reverence for Tabitha's the spirit inside her or whatever, this being that he's known all through time. It's a lot. There's so much to process in that tiny bit of interaction that they have. But I loved that scene. I was holding my breath until it was over. And then that's just the end of the episode.
Do you think that he has the power to make them reincarnate? That he is playing this long game with them and he wants them to keep trying, and so he's the person that's making them be reincarnated again and again so he can battle them?
I believe he's the person who placed the original curse, or who convinced the town people to. So I believe his power is the thing that is controlling the majority of. I guess my best working theory right now is that he casts the curse. He's the evil power that's working within the town, and I think the spirits of the dead children are probably the good, whatever positive entity or energy that is helping people, and then maybe that is. People have changed their minds on how they feel about him back and forth, but I feel maybe that the boy in white is the personification of all of their spirits at one time, trying to help lead and guide directly, but I don't know.
I keep going back to what Sarah said in season 2 about her, or season 1, about how she doesn't think he's really a boy. I'm really curious to find out more about that. It's the same entity who's also the dogs. Maybe it's the spider.
I was going to say the spider as well.
Maybe the spider is good. Maybe it's the Crominacle.
Yes.
Or the Gulagog. By the way, I am so glad, because when they mentioned, when the book, The Grand Gulagog, first came out, I was like, no, they're not going there, because I thought it was going to be a Gollywog thing.
Oh.
And I was like, please
that
no.
would be dark.
That'd
be weird.
Very dark.
It would not be a great thing to have on the show.
Should we jump into Fromville Debate Team? Those of you who join us every week know that this is about the time that we do our Fromville Debate Team. Before we start recording, we choose a conflict, and then we let a spinner wheel randomly assign us positions. So this week, sorry, I can't get it off my screen. So this week, Dawn was assigned Kristi. We're doing Kristi versus Marielle. Dawn was assigned Kristi. I was assigned to Marielle, and Jazz was assigned to Judge. Who do we think is the easier of the two?
Well, I'm happy to go first. I'll go first.
All right.
All right, cool.
You ready, Dawn?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Kristi is a doctor first and a friend or her partner second. She is thinking of her patient. And Fatima is in a situation where she doesn't know what's happening. They don't know what's happening. When you're a doctor in that situation, you don't want to be the patient that you want them to feel secure and safe in what you're telling them. By Marielle starting talking about, oh, we could try this. What about this? Maybe this. We don't know. You're putting the patient into a state of uncertainty. And with everything that Fatima is going through, with the appearance of these marks, you want to be as reassuring as possible, and that's what Kristi's trying to do. She wants everything to go past her because she has had a longer relationship with Fatima than Marielle does, and B, she knows more of what is going on in the town than Marielle has. Marielle, there we go.
All right, let me know when to start.
Ready?
Yep.
Yep.
So what if the monster infection that Fatima has, what if it's just given Slay? But no, I don't think she's wrong. I think Marielle's tone was bad. I don't think she should have been as enthusiastic as she was. But this town kills people when people don't follow information that they receive. And I don't think Marielle is saying that Fatima's suffering is good. I think she's just saying that they need to explore their options. And Fatima is basically an open door, and they should go through that door and find out what they can before they shut it. And I don't know that it's really going to change anything or make her worse. It's just making good out of a bad situation. I don't think that she should have been so enthusiastic about it.
Time.
All right. Who are you going with, Jess?
I don't like not good anymore.
It's a tough one because they're both wrong and they're both right. Nobody who is a chronically ill person, nobody wants to hear, maybe it's a good thing.
As someone raised by a medical professional, I'm going to side with Kristi on this one. just for the basic science of it. Because they really should try to learn as much as they can before doing any more experimenting, considering how near death Fatima is at the moment. Might want to just wait a few days to see if she bounces back. So,
yeah.
But I think both sides were well argued, and
thank you.
If I didn't give a tie the last two times I judged, I would probably still give a tie.
All right. Let's jump into, let's put some people in the box here. Dawn, who are you putting in the box this week?
I'm scared to say it out loud. It's Boyd!
Yeah. Crazy.
Boyd, you're right, but also stop being just such a wet blanket to everybody. Just give them a little bit of credit for doing good. And just poor Jade, I just felt like, he just stole Jade's favourite toy and then crapped in it and gave him it back. I'm just so annoyed at Boyd for just pause for a minute and give it some praise, and also can we do this? You're not being a good manager, Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting the best out of your staff right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggled here because I almost put Boyd in the box, but I'm like, I can't do that. Like, he's going through a lot right now, man. And so I've decided I'm putting Boyd's trauma in the box.
Good choice.
We love Boyd. I don't
Mine
think
is even more bullshit than that. So
I think it's basically a situation of Boyd, this town has fucked Boyd up so much and messed with his head so much, and basically Boyd.exe has crashed. His operating system is garbage right now. So I feel bad for the guy because he's been dragged in every fucking direction by this town. And still, it's a good leader who makes questionable decisions sometimes. Don't think that he should have been such a jerk to Jade, especially after Jade's been proven right. But he's just, I feel bad for the guy, man. He's just been through way too much. So who's your bullshit box candidate, Jeff?
I had a really hard time picking someone to go in the box this week because I really didn't think anyone. I feel like everyone, even the people who were at odds with each other, both had valid arguments on their sides. So I went with the Normcore Kavanaughs. I don't like them. I don't need sunscreen Victor. Regular Victor's fine. He's not broken. This is a trope that has been done by other series, and I always hate it. It's so heartbreaking to have to face, this is my perfect dream version of my family that exists. Or I have my crap trauma family. Like making them decide that the person his son actually is sucks. I don't know. I'm enjoying the concept. It's a fresh take that I haven't seen exactly before, but I don't like the Normcore Kavanaughs. No one goes into a coma for 40 years from taking
40
acid.
years.
Also,
Yeah.
what kind of name is Sebastian? As if he
Yeah.
would call his son Sebastian.
Why has no one mentioned Miranda?
Yeah,
know.
where's she? Yeah.
Where's Miranda? And I want to know who Victor's married to. I hope he's married to a guy. I hope he's like, I would love to see that. But let's jump into our bottom fives. Dawn, what was your number 5?
Oh, it's tough. But I went with the Marielle and Kristi argument. You know, I don't like what we're seeing from the way the road Kristi is going down. That obviously this is so much of it is being manipulated by Sophia. We know that. But even still, I just don't like to see it. She had a really good point with Marielle, but the way she was basically saying you can change sheets now and that was just awful and heartbreaking. And the way it made Marielle feel that she, hello, I've got a degree as well. I have experience in nursing, and it was just so unpleasant, and I don't like seeing the two of them be at each other's throats like that. And also because you can see how it's going to go further and further. It's the impending doom every time they have these sort of arguments. It's just distressing.
I gotta say, that's my number 5 too. It really bugs me. I love Marielle now. I think she's a great character, but I love Marielle and Kristi. I think they're such a great couple, but I hate this. I hate that there's all this bickering, and don't like it. I don't like it at all. I hate that they can't get on the same page about anything, and that they're getting snippy with each other, and I don't like it. It upsets me. Jazz, what's your number 5?
Why is Victor coloring with teeth? Can someone tell me why in the picture he's drawing, when Ethan comes in his room, he has those teeth from the bag all over the desk in front of him?
Oh, I didn't notice that. I just thought they were crayons.
There was at least 3 teeth.
Oh my god, I didn't notice that either.
I was so upset.
This is what happens when you're watching a program on a phone. I'm watching on the phone. I need to get it on a big screen TV so I can see what's going on.
There's at least 3 teeth on the table there with his crayons.
Oh my god.
And I was distressed.
At least the man in yellow clearly washed off all the teeth before.
Yeah, because they're not bloody and disgusting. Maybe it means Victor. Maybe Victor will find something out. He'll have a realization about the teeth. Maybe the teeth will bring something to his mind. I don't know what.
Maybe somebody had a filling, or someone had a gold tooth.
He'll spell something out.
I need to wear my tooth necklace.
Yes.
If I kept my dentist let me keep one of my wisdom teeth.
Fun.
Cool. So I made a little necklace out of it.
All right, I'm leaving the chat.
All right, we're Dawn. We're up to you.
Dawn's number 4.
Yeah.
My number 4 is the reveal of Fatima's stomach. It was horrible, and I didn't expect it, because normally these kind of things, the audience get a little clue before they tell Boy, you made me find out what's going on. But no, straight in there. By the way, this has happened. And he said it felt cold, and I have a lot of problems with my sort of ear to ear. My digestion system is wrecked. It just gave me a whole lot of, oh no, that's just terrifying. Whatever it is.
Stretch marks.
Yes, demon stretch marks, exactly. That they're spreading and that they're black and that it's like, I don't know. None of it is good. I'm scared.
My number 4 is just, I love Snarky Boyd, but I don't know. He was being a little bit too much of a jerk. I didn't like it. I especially, like, I don't know. He's really been kind of demanding with Jade. And I feel bad for him.
It's strange because Jade assigned himself this role. This is all Jade's project and his.
Yes.
I don't understand why Boyd do it better to do.
And I hated that he acted the way that Jade set up a model of the town was so weird. And like, you draw a map?
That was
a map. He wanted like a physical. Jade's like, this is better, and he's like, no.
I would do the same thing. I would do the exact same thing Jade did, because that's a neurodivergent trait for a lot of people.
That's what you see.
Yeah,
and also, I'm one of those people, and men mock women drivers or whatever that do this. If I'm looking at a map, I have to turn it the way I'm going. So then I go, I'm here, I'm going to go left, rather than looking at it and go, well, I've gone there. It's easier. So, it's ableist. Come on, Boyd, stop it. No ableism in Fromville, thank you. You've got enough problems as it is.
Exactly. All right, Jazz, what's your number 4?
My number 4 was the Marielle and Ellis fight. I know Ellis is not a big fan, and the people in the fandom give Ellis a lot of shit. I generally like Ellis, but he has some anger stuff to work through, because he gets so hot so fast.
Yes.
And it's lovely that he's defending his partner and its protectiveness, but as someone who grew up in an abusive household, it makes me anxious to see someone get that hot that fast. I don't know. I don't want to even think about Ellis being that type of person, because he doesn't seem to be that type of person at all, and he truly loves and cherishes Fatima. But that being so quick to anger just gives me the bugs.
All right, John, what's your number 3?
It's Henry's doctor using the word eliminate. Oh, that sent chills up my spine. I already got the idea of what was going to happen, what they were trying to say. And you've got to break it. And anybody who's had any experience of that kind of psychology or whatever knows that it's very, oh no, you have to be able to let go of the past about this other version. Not, by the way, you have to eliminate them. Am I being clear? Eliminate. So it's super clear what she wants Henry to do and what we all fear Henry's going to do. But just the use of that word, I thought, was so well placed in the conversation, and just that, it was like it was up there in neon. That we're going with that. I don't want to know.
Hey man, those backroom entities can be a pain in the butt. I told Jim my ultimate dream is that when From ends, it's a little bit of a coincidence that From is going to be ending right around the time that a Backrooms TV series may be starting. And so I have my ultimate dream is that From is going to end with everybody leaving, only to find themselves in another backroom, another level of the Backrooms, and it was all connected to the Backrooms all along. But no, that would be kind of awesome though.
Have you seen the movie yet?
No, it's the only way that I can see it is if we go to one of those expensive theaters where you can recline, because I can't handle sitting in the regular movie seats because of my legs. So it's hard. It's expensive, and we don't really have many around here. But I don't know. We might go soon, but I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. I have to wait for streaming, then I'll have to wait for streaming, but I can't wait to watch it. But this is number 3, right? My number 3 is frickin' Sophia stealing Ethan's drawings.
Rude.
What was the point of that? It was like, I hated that.
Well, just to show that he could come into their home. To show that these talismans don't affect him.
Why is she sniffing everything? That
is bothering me. I get it as a character choice. And she's like this otherworldly being crammed in a hot body trying to... It's gross. It's a great character move, but it's gross.
Oh, yes.
A bunch of our listeners/viewers are about to roll their eyes here, but I couldn't help but notice that twice the first time we saw the picture spread out on the floor, Jade and Tabitha were right next to each other. And then the second time, Sophia had already messed them up. And so they were shuffled around. And Jade and Tabitha were still next to each other.
They are important as a couple, so the man in yellow ships it. We know it.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
He's a big Jade guy.
I actually loved the way Ethan drew Jade.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Jazz, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is doubling down on the fights with the Marielle and Kristi fight. That one bothered me slightly more because I really didn't like seeing Kristi poop on Marielle's medical expertise. Her specialty was pregnant women, if I'm not mistaken. I believe she was I
think it was I thought she was a pediatric nurse.
Pediatric nurse, you're probably right. She also has a lot of knowledge, and I really didn't like Kristi being like, don't talk to my patient. There's only 30 people in town. You probably should just work together.
Dawn, what's your number 2?
It is sticking with Kristi. It's the reveal of Fatima's statistics. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, I know nothing about medical stuff in that sense, but I knew that was really bad.
Not a good prognosis.
No. If your heartbeat is 19 a minute and you're sitting upright, that's really...
Yeah.
I think it's clear, having Fatima say, am I turning into one of them? We are meant to think she's turning into one of the creatures. I don't think she is. I think that's a bit of a red herring. But whatever she is happening to her body is not good if it's slowing down to nothing. It's like she's hibernating. She's gone into hibernation. So what does that mean? Does that mean something else is taking over her body, or is taking over her body and her body's just in hibernation? The whole thing is horrible and terrifying. And I'm scared for where the last couple of episodes are going to take Fatima.
Kristi took her vitals during the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting if she takes them at night.
Ooh, good point. While Smiley's out and about. Of course, I never thought of that. Clever, yes.
Hopefully Kristi will think to do that, because if they go to normal...
Yes, when they're up and about.
That's so scary.
That is bad.
So my number 2 was, listen, Mr. Nepo baby of the Fromville apocalypse. Ellis, I love you, but now is not the time to be doing husband jazz hands over Fatima's body turning into a monsterly weapon. I know how you feel. It was just... I hated it. I fucking hated it so much. That's one of the worst things, in my opinion. It's one of the cringiest things you can say to somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate it. No, you don't know how the person feels.
No.
Even if somebody lost their parent, and you lost your parent before, you could say, I've been there, but you still don't say, I know how you feel.
You can say, I can appreciate how you're feeling. Yeah. That's different from saying, I know how you feel. No, you don't. Any man listening, take it from us. Stop listening to the Manosphere podcast and listen to us. No, Boyd would never.
Jazz, what's your number 2?
My number 2 was Boyd's spooky adventure. The shots and then Kenny being down, that scared the shit out of me. And I really, I thought he was dead until everyone showed up. That was horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. It seemed so real until there was every single person Boyd cared about laid out there.
The way he was holding Kenny, dying Kenny, just after minutes essentially after he's brought Donna back to life, he's holding her dead in his arms as Boyd.
The ghost Abby with the blood. Ugh. Yeah. Horrible. Poor Boyd.
All right, John, what's your number 1?
It's Tabitha's date with the man in yellow. It was the fact he was solicitous to her. Creepy Cooperston. If he had been evil to her, it would have been bad, but it would have been less unsettling. The fact he was so, hey, it's my best friend. Don't you remember the fun we had together? And kissing her hand. He's so good at playing that smiling, creepy old guy. Everybody's known an old man like that. And you're like, no, great uncle, don't kiss my hand, it's creepy. And the fact he said, you're as close a thing as a friend to me, but you don't remember that yet, is so ominous. What is Tabitha going to remember? What has happened between her past versions of herself and the man in yellow that she's yet to remember is a terrifying prospect.
My thinking is that the reason he said that is because it goes back to what I was theorizing about the past life Jades. That the reason that they were murdered and that the reason that Jade, like, Tabitha is seeing these flashbacks of Miranda, she's experiencing Miranda's flashbacks, whereas Jade is just seeing these past life versions of himself that got murdered. So my theory was that right before each version of Jade gets murdered, the man in yellow takes over that form of Jade and gets killed because he goes completely batshit. And so my thinking was like, maybe that's why he said that, because Miranda Tabitha was obviously close with all of these past Jades. They may have just been friends. They may have even been brother and sister at some point. They may have been married, which obviously first point was married. But so I think that Tabitha probably has a history like that with the man in yellow. But anyway, my number one is just, I don't like the idea of Henry eliminating the anchor. I am scared. It's really cool seeing this alternate universe version of Victor, and that if he had never ended up in Fromville, he had this normal life and he'd have a son, and I assume he's married, but it's cool to see him. It's kind of cool to see Normcore Victor, but I hate this so much, and I'm so scared of what is going to happen with Henry. I don't like it. I'm scared.
And the fact we've seen so much of Abby this season, highlighting the parallel of what Sophia is doing to Henry, is like, oh, Henry's going to become Abby.
That's what I'm afraid of. Sorry. Is the fact that Victor has the fucking saddest childhood I have ever heard of in my entire goddamn life. Him talking about being friends with the walls and ceilings of the truck pretty much put me in SSRIs. I was just tearing my hair out at how sad this story was. And Tabitha's lack of empathy. I don't understand how she's listening to this story of this childhood of eating bugs and peaches, and she's more upset that Ethan is learning that bad things exist than she is that he lived this life and her son might too. It's so tragic, and I'm so glad that we've gotten to see his character develop and have a found family and real family even, and it's so hard just to think about a 10-year-old being alone in a place like that, but hearing him talk about the specifics is really tragic, just really sad.
I want to point out something. We never hear what the third thing is that the boy in white told him.
I know. He never did come back to that.
So that's intriguing. I'm assuming it will come back and we'll hear what it is.
I wonder if maybe it's about how he'll be alone for 40 years, because I assume every time that Jade and Tabitha come back, they're supposed to be 40. That's what I'm assuming. And that's why as soon as they die, a new one is born. And, well, it would have been a little later than that, I think.
Poor
I
you.
don't know. Whatever. No, I get it. That was really sad. Just really heartbreaking.
I want to know what were the names he gave them. What did he name the doors?
I
I know he said and floors. There's more than one. Walls and doors. Floors, I should say. Walls and floors.
The little freaking dolls of Eloise is tragic.
Yeah.
I hope he named one of the chairs Cherry Playhouse.
There are better things to name inside a truck than, or maybe he hadn't found anything at that point, so there was nothing in it other than the jars.
Peaches.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I remember, just kind of off topic. I remember a while back on Instagram, David Alpay posted a photo of him filming with Scott McCord and captioned it "Peaches and Herb." All right. Is there anything you guys want to discuss before we get out of here?
No, I think that's it.
Check out our interviews with Samantha Brown and Nathan D. Simmons if you haven't already. We're also going to, well, actually, by the time this goes up, we'll also have posted our brief chat with Elizabeth Saunders as well. So make sure you check those out and turn on your notifications because we've had a really hard time this season with getting the Sunday Night Lives going. So we're never quite sure when we can do it, when we can't. So turn on your notifications so you don't miss them. And I'm trying to use the community tab more often for posts. So make sure you look in there as well. And that's it. We will see you guys very soon.